These 6 steps of how to plan your yoga marketing photo shoot. Hi friend, I'm so glad you're here today to hear these 6 steps of how to plan your yoga marketing photo shoot. This is something that I have learned to do over just experimenting, and so many people have asked how I have so many pictures of myself for specifically Instagram and my website. So I'm going to touch on a little bit of both of those, more so for social media, because the website photo shoot happened one time and I hired a photographer to help me with those photos. So there was a difference in that. I have a marketing photo shoot every 3-ish months. 2 to 3 months is usually what I get to until I'm like, oh, I need some more pictures. And what I do is my friend Jessica and we go out together. She also needs content, social media pictures of herself and kind of like some stock imagery looking photos. And so we go out together because it helps us both. She can take pictures of me, I can take pictures of her, and then we have content for a few months. So if you are able, I highly suggest grab another yoga teacher because they need the photos too, and go out together for just a few hours every few months. It's so incredibly helpful. I promise you it'll be worth your time. So let's dive in with step number 1. Step number 1 is knowing what you need. Just like I mentioned, do you need photos for social media or do you need photos for your website? Those are going to be 2 very different photos. For example, you might have photos on your website where you know you're going to have text on some of the imagery, so you have to make sure that your body is positioned in a certain way so that there's room for the text on either side or one side. So just knowing that. That's usually not the case with social media. So social media is a little bit different, but you still need to know what you need. So do you need pictures of you in yoga poses? Do you need pictures of yoga equipment? What is your content? Just trying to figure that out and knowing what you need is seriously the best thing you can figure out before the photo shoot. Don't wait until you're on site with your friend taking your picture to figure out what you need. Another thing to know about what you need is, do you need stock images? So there are tons of sites where you can get free stock imagery, and I will list this in the blog so you can have access to all of the free sites that I use and just some other recommended ones. But sometimes you want to curate your own imagery. So if you look at my Instagram, you will often see pictures that are of coffee cups or my computer sitting on a desk with some flowers. I take those pictures. There's a lot of them that I take. I use coffee shops a lot. So knowing what you need ahead of time, you can really plan ahead and make sure that you have a list of what you need. One way to do this is with a Pinterest board. And this is something that I recently started doing, and it really helped. So start a Pinterest board with yourself or your friend, whoever is helping you, and you can just figure out what pictures you need, pin them. So then once you're on site, all you have to do is look at that board and take pictures that are based on those photos. Step number 2 is planning your location. Knowing where you want the pictures to be taken is really important. And this really comes down to, specifically for social media and very specifically for Instagram, you might want a specific background. So if you look at my Instagram, you'll see that I use a lot of white. So for me, that means I need to find places that have white walls or a very light and bright background. What I found is that I love taking pictures outside, but the grass that is super green or a wall that's really dark actually doesn't work on my Instagram feed. So I can't use those photos. Again, this happened because I experimented and I went out and I started doing it. So there's really no way to do this wrong. Go start taking pictures as soon as you can and you'll figure out what you like along the way. And also, I highly suggest just picking one location to get started. You can certainly go to multiple locations, but it creates more time and more energy. So I highly suggest just starting with one, whatever that is. Is it a park? Is it a studio? Maybe you're in a yoga studio with a friend and you can take some pictures together. Just start there. I would suggest starting with one location and then you can start to experiment as you continue to go along this journey. Step number 3 is planning for your clothes and your props. You want to make the most of your few hours with your friend taking your picture. So notice if on your Instagram or Facebook or Pinterest or whatever you're using, you want to use the same outfit or you want to have different outfits. So what I do on these photo shoots is I bring 3 shirts or 2 sets of pants. And so I just change. I change in the coffee shop, obviously the bathroom, but I just change in the middle and take some more pictures. Sometimes I'll put my hair up and some will have my hair down. That's just to help things like feel a little bit different on my Instagram and Facebook feed. So knowing what you want, just planning accordingly, making sure that you have clothes that look great in photos. And again, there's no wrong way of doing this. You'll find out very quickly, oh, I didn't like that shirt in that photo. So you won't use that shirt again. But you just have to start to figure out what works for you. And planning your props. Do you want your yoga mat? Do you need blocks or blankets or bolsters? You know, if you're a restorative yoga teacher, you're going to need the props to show a restorative pose. So making sure that you have those set up, it's just going to save you time. Step number 4 is getting organized. I, under no circumstances, want you to wing this, because if you do not plan, you will waste your time, and you'll waste the time of whoever is helping you take pictures. The more you plan out, it's like if you've ever had your photo taken by a professional photographer, there's usually a list of photos that they will be taking. They do this because it helps time. You don't want to be somewhere for 4 hours taking your picture. You won't want to do that. So what I want you to do is plan as much as you can. Know that you want to take these 10 pictures and these 2 outfits. And you're going to have these props and you're going to have certain stock photos too. Getting really specific, it can be really small the first time. Don't overwhelm yourself and go crazy on this first time and say you need 200 pictures. Start with 10 and have fun while you're going about it, but make sure to plan ahead of time. Step number 5 is to have fun. So you've done all the planning, that's the stressful part, right? The next part is I need you to just have fun that day. You know exactly what photos you want to take, you have your outfits picked out, you have your friend with you, have fun. Because these photos need to convey authenticity. So I want you to be you. What I realized very, very quickly after my first photo shoot with my friend Jessica is that I had her take a lot of pictures of me smiling like this. And I never used them. I never use them because what I do is I talk with my hands. That is more realistic. So then what I had her do was just start taking pictures of me when I was talking to her, or taking pictures of me while I was getting into whatever pose I wanted to get into, and I actually used those pictures the most. I used the silly faces. I used the awkward, like I'm not quite doing the right thing with my body just yet, because that is me in real life. So I want you to have fun, be authentic, and just know that you're going to have to figure this out as you go. So it's not going to be perfect. The first photo shoot, you'll probably use a handful of pictures and not like the rest of them. That's okay. Delete them and then move on. And on that note, don't look at the pictures as they're being taken. So your friend is taking pictures of you, or you set the timer on your camera. Don't focus on those pictures right away, because what you're going to do is you're going to be very, very critical. Oh, I don't like that. I should have done it this way. And you're going to spend more time taking more pictures that you won't use. So I want you to just take your pictures and then go home. Because I guarantee you, even if you use none of them because you don't like them, it's still going to be less time than if you looked at every single one of them and retook it 5 or 10 times and still didn't use it. So have fun, enjoy the day, go do something fun afterwards, and enjoy that time where you are taking pictures for your social media and just thinking like, what would my audience want to see me doing? And step number 6 is to publish. Yay! You finally got there. All your hard work is paying off, and it's time to schedule those photos on social media. So I want you to have fun with this. Play with it. See what you like. Just notice what you do use. Like I said, my first photo shoot, I really didn't use very many of my photos. I just didn't like them. So we had to do it again earlier rather than later. Now we've gotten down to where like every 2 to 3 months, we go to a coffee shop or a park or some place with white walls for me, and we have a lot of fun, and it takes an hour, maybe 2 if we're just having fun. and then it's over, like for 2 or 3 months. Like that's it. The rest of what I have to do is just publish the pictures, and I use a ton of them. There's very rarely pictures that I don't use because I know exactly what I need. So the more you do this, the more fun you'll have and the better you'll get at it. So you just have to start and then have fun, and don't forget to publish. So many people go and do the photo shoot, they have fun, and then they never use the photos. So I don't want that to be you. I want you to publish. So I have some pro tips for you, since I have done this quite a few times now with my friend Jessica. First up is that I want you to remember this. This is so important. If you have a friend that you're taking pictures of, make sure that they take pictures of you using your phone. And then you take pictures of them using their phone. This saves a lot of time afterwards, because I used my phone to take pictures of Jessica and took 200 pictures of her or something crazy like that. We did not follow the rule of starting small, which is why I suggest it. And she took pictures of me using her phone. Well, obviously we had to give each other those photos. It takes forever. Google Drive was going crazy. It takes way too long. So just know, use each other's phone. Use your own phone to get the pictures. Another pro tip is to use what you have right now. Do not go buy new equipment. Don't go buy a camera. Don't go thinking you have to buy a light. I want you to use what you have. There is no shame in this. I use an iPhone still to this day, and people ask me what I do with my photos all the time. And it's really planning ahead and finding good lighting, which is in a location that I can use, and planning ahead in terms of what I'm going to wear. It really does help the background, and people think I pay for these professional photos all the time. So just use what you have. Do not go buy new equipment. And the really fun pro tip is I want you to tell your friend. So you are, let's say you're getting into a yoga pose, and you know you want a picture of this peak pose so you can talk about it on social media. I want you to ask your friend to take pictures of you while you're getting into that pose. I promise you, you will use those photos probably more than the picture that you have in that peak pose. Because we are all looking to be authentic, and authentic is not in a perfect peak pose all the time. You probably don't tell everyone in your class to be perfect all the time. You probably tell them to be authentic, to be themselves, and to appreciate what their body is doing today. And so I want you to have your friend taking pictures of you, of what your body is doing today, so you can convey that message on social media. Okay, your next best step is to plan a yoga photo shoot. I want you to get a friend. I want you to contact a friend today and say, hey, we both need pictures of ourselves for social media. So let's find a time in the next week that we can go and schedule 1 hour of time in between classes, where we can go to a coffee shop or a yoga studio and take pictures. I cannot wait to see what you come up with. Let me know if you have any questions. And until next time, give yourself permission to have fun in front of the camera and grace along the way. Bye.